Hello.
Hello,
Hi there. What's your name?
my name is Yıldırım.
Yidirim. I'm gonna struggle with that one. Can you say that one again?
Yıldırım,
Yidirim. And where are you from?
Turkey.
Turkey. Hello. I'm James, and I'm from England. I'm presently actually in Mexico. So yeah, but I'm English, but I'm living in Mexico. I have a Mexican girlfriend. Whereabouts in Turkey do you live?
İstanbul.
Istanbul, an amazing city. I visited many years ago. I'm as old as dinosaurs, but I visited Istanbul maybe in 1990, so 30 years ago. It was not to get into politics or religion. We're not allowed to talk about that, right? But when I was there, the leader of the PKK, I think it was arrested. So it was like 1990, long time ago, but it was all
Yeah,
over.
definitely long time ago.
There was like him being arrested. I didn't understand what was going on because it was in Turkish, but yeah. But no, I went to Istanbul and Bodrum, Cappadocia. I can never say that properly.
Okay.
Beautiful country. Anyway, how can I help you today, my friend? Do you just want to practice conversational English, or do you have some lessons you'd like to go through?
Actually, just now I'm beginning of my Cambly journey, and I just want to focus on conversation.
Okay, great. Okay, no problem. I can do that all day. That's no problem at all. So, how old are you?
24.
24. And what do you do in Turkey? Are you a student? Do you work?
I'm a student. Also, I'm working in a full-time job
And
as a
what-
software engineer.
Software engineer. Wow. Okay, that's a good career choice. I wish I could do that. But I'm 48. So when I was like, when computer code first came out, it was really difficult. I mean, things like the ZX Spectrum, long time ago, these sorts of computers. But you'd be like with the keyboard, and you'd spend hours trying to code something that then, of course, wouldn't work. You know, it's changed now, but that put me off trying to do software engineering, coding, anything to do with computers for life. Was trying to program a ZX Spectrum. The computer keyboard used to have rubber keys. You know, the keyboard of the ZX Spectrum. I mean, it's a computer before your time, but at first,
Yeah, definitely.
like 40 years ago, one of the very first home computers to come out was called the ZX Spectrum, and it was about this big. And it had
I never seen that.
No, but if you Google it, you'll laugh, right? I'm not even making this up, right? The keyboard, every other keyboard you've ever seen has plastic keys, right? On your keyboard, right?
Yeah.
The ZX Spectrum had rubber keys. Keys made of rubber. You know rubber, like, you know what rubber is? It's like elasticated plastic. Rubber is like, rubber is the sort of thing that if you make a mistake with a pencil and a drawing, you can put it out. An eraser, like an eraser. Google ZX Spectrum. If you're into computing, you will laugh because the keys on the keyboard, your finger used to be able to press into them because they were soft plastic like rubber. Anyway, but do you travel much? Do you get a chance to leave Turkey a lot, or?
Actually, I travel not much. Maybe just in holidays.
Yeah, and where'd you like to go?
I just want to chill in the sea.
Yeah.
Seasides. That's it. Before these times, I was a student, and my money is not much. I don't have access for holidays.
Yeah, I'm living in Mexico doing Cambly. I understand that. I'm not making much money either.
Yeah.
I'm here.
I lost connection with your video. Is
Pardon?
the problem? I cannot see you right now.
Oh,
Is it the problem?
I can see me. I can see you. I don't know why you can't see me. I can see me in my little camera screen. I can see you. Oh, you got me back. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and what would you like to, when you graduate with your computer degree, what would you like to do? What area of computing would you like to get into?
Actually, I'm working about 3 years
Oh,
right
right, I
now,
see. You're already. Oh, I missed.
and also I'm a student.
Oh, you're doing it at the same time. I understand. I
Yeah,
misunderstood you. Yeah. Okay.
there is no need for a degree in
Yeah.
software
Yeah.
engineering.
Right.
If when I get my bachelor's degree, I want to move on abroad, the EU side. Maybe England is the better choice for
Maybe.
me.
Yeah.
When I get the bachelor's degree, I want to move on there, and that's why I need English also.
Yeah.
This is why I'm here right now.
Yeah, your English is very good. I mean, I think you're obviously at the point where the best thing for you is literally just to talk to people and just practice, practice, practice. Because it's obvious just talking to you briefly that you've got the verbs, you've got the actual language in your head. You know, it's there. I mean, you can always add new words, more vocabulary, but you've at least cracked the sort of the hard bit. You know, we're having a conversation.
Yeah, I have a good background in my university prep school. Then it becomes 4 year right now.
Right. Okay,
I lost my conversation skills.
Yeah.
I need to practice more and gain it more again.
Yeah, no, it is. It's just practice. But I mean, I'm more than happy if you want to speak to me several times a week. I'll talk to you about anything you want, including religion or politics if you want to. But, you know, I'm quite happy to talk about anything. I mean, I've been very lucky in my life. I've traveled a lot. So, you know, I've been to Turkey, for example. I'm just curious. Not religious, not political. But I went in Istanbul. I went to the Mosque of Sofia, and it was stunningly beautiful. Your mosque in Istanbul is beautiful. But I heard on the radio about 3 or 4 months ago that your government has changed its status. Right. So
it was a museum for about 50 years.
Yeah, when I went, it was a museum because obviously Islamic, but it was also Christian and Catholic, and it was a place of worship, but it was a museum,
just a museum before 3 months ago, and right now it's a mosque.
Again,
you can go make a prayer, of course, in Muslims.
Yeah, I mean, what I was going to ask is, it's quite a significant. I mean, I'm not religious. I make no judgment about religions. I'm just curious because I went to the mosque, and as you said, it was a museum. So now, is it a mosque purely for Islamic worship? Because obviously, historically, it did have Christian and Catholic influences. It's primarily an Islamic mosque, I understand that. But architecturally, historically, it had obviously relevance in the Christian and Catholic faiths as well, right? So are they still allowed to worship there, or is it purely now a mosque for Islamic purposes?
I'm not sure about it, but I agree with you. Changing its status from the museum to mosque is not a good choice, I think.
I don't think so, but I mean, to me, I'm not particularly. I'm ignorant of it. I don't, I'm not Islamic. I'm not Turkish. So it's not really my concern. But it's a beautiful building. I just hope that people can still see it. Like, I mean, as a mosque, is it now therefore closed to tourists? Can tourists still go? I mean, I've been to many mosques. You're allowed in a mosque if you're not, as long as you're respectful in a mosque, I can walk into a mosque. It's, for sure. Like, so it's not, they haven't changed it from tourists. So tourists from around the world can still go and visit the mosque. Like, it's still,
I'm not sure about it.
Like, that's why I was really asking. I was like, well, if it's gone from a museum which is open to the public, the world, tourism.
I think right now everyone can visit. There is no problem for it.
Okay.
But in the prayer times, at 5 times in a day, in Muslims praying.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just for accessible for Muslims.
Right.
At that time. I think it's not more than 1 hour in a day.
No, but I mean, that's absolutely fair enough.
It's not a big problem for the other tourists.
That absolutely is fair enough. It's a place of worship. Obviously, 5 times a day, Mecca, you do your prayers. The same would be true if you went to St. Paul's Cathedral in London. If they happened to be having a Christian Christmas mass or something, you wouldn't be allowed in. Like the rest of the time, yeah, you can go in and look at it, But if they were doing something religious, then yeah, of course. Then at that time, it's not a tourist attraction; it's a church or a cathedral for sure. That's okay. No, but I can imagine in the last 30 years, Istanbul has changed an awful lot since I last. I mean, I went. I think it was 1990. It must have changed beyond recognition, right? A lot of change.
Yeah, definitely, lots of things changed because it was before for my birth.
Yeah.
It passed 30 years, and I'm not 30-year old.
No,
I cannot imagine how Istanbul looks in 1990s. I'm here almost 5 years ago. I came here for a university education. I grew up in a small city named Adana.
Okay.
I'm here. Actually, I'm new here about 5 years.
Yeah.
If it's named like a new.
Yeah. That's right.
I'm not sure how it looks in 1990s, but last 5 years, I can say that Istanbul changed more than other cities.
Wow,
it's getting crowded more.
Yeah.
And a little bit dirty for it.
I'm gonna say the pollution was pretty bad when I was there, to be honest. I mean, it was a shame because it's a beautiful city, but the pollution was a bit, I mean, that's the same in most capital cities across the world. It's not a particular Istanbul problem, pollution in capital cities is bad. But no, it's a very beautiful place. I mean, I love the bazaars. PD, I love PD, the sort of pizza on pita bread things you guys eat. PDs? Are they PDs? PDs. You into...
Pide.
Pide, that's the one, yeah.
I can't understand what you say.
How do you say it? Pide.
Pide.
Pide. Okay, yeah. Because I always pita bread like a pizza.
You have to spell fastly. Pide.
Pide.
Pide, but in fast.
Pide.
Yeah,
definitely. Got it. Okay, pide. I was calling them PDs for the entire time I was there.
I'm just thinking about what's the PD.
I was like, obviously, when you go up to a stand and they've got them, and you're like, I want a PD, and you point, they give you one, and you think, hey, it's called a PD. But no, I really like the food. I enjoy it. I mean,
it's like a pizza in Turkey.
Yeah, it's a pizza basically on pita bread, right?
Yeah,
I mean, more or less. Yeah, they were lovely. I ate loads of them. But no, I really liked Istanbul. I'd love to go back. The bazaars and everything, because I was like, when I went, I was about your age, maybe a little bit older than you. No, it was about your age. And like, coming from a place like England, you can imagine Istanbul then was just like I'd stepped into a completely different world. It might as well have been like I'd stepped onto a planet in a Star Wars movie. It was just, you can imagine just the smell of shisha pipes, molasses tobacco, like all the smells in the market and stuff was just like, wow, I mean, since then, I've been to other Arabic places and, but it's, I did love Istanbul. Yeah, it's good. But so you'd like, in the future, you'd like to study or work in England, did you say?
Maybe England is a good choice for me.
Yeah.
I have three country for aiming the next life for me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I'd say about it.
No, it's fine.
I just want to move on England or Germany or Netherlands. This is my top three country for the.
I mean, presumably, obviously, they're all very beautiful countries. They're obviously all countries with money. You can make good money there. But I mean, obviously, if are you learning German? I mean, a lot of German people speak English, and a lot of Dutch people speak English. So if you've got English, you'd be okay in Germany or Holland. But are you learning any other languages besides English? Or
I'm not learning right now. But if you work in software engineering industry, more jobs, other jobs, software engineering in IT industry, you don't need to learn that country's language. I
Yeah, I
mean,
see.
German or Dutch, not necessary for it.
Yes.
You have to learn just English.
Yeah. Okay.
If I will
That's
be
the
good
sort of
in
language
English,
of the
there is no
industry.
problem
Yeah.
for getting a job. But
Right.
if I want to move on there, or I want to live on there, I have to learn their culture, their language, everything. That will be need for me in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I've never actually been. I've been very fortunate. I've been to many European countries. I've never been to Germany, surprisingly enough. I've been to an airport to go to Austria, but I've been to Austria, I've been to Holland, etc. I've been all over Europe. I'd love to go to Germany. It's one of those just I haven't got round to it. A girl, you suggest it to a girlfriend, and she'd rather go to France because it's more romantic, or that sort of thing. So you end up going to France rather than Germany, But I believe Berlin is. I mean, most of my friends have been to Berlin, and they say Berlin is just an amazing place, particularly when you're a young man like you. They just say. But then everywhere is. Amsterdam would be, London would be. I mean, at your age, what's not to like about a capital city, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. In my age,
you want,
we all just want to be in this city. Definitely good choices.
I mean, one of the things I would say, my country obviously recently voted to leave the European Union, the EU. Not to get into politics, I don't think that's the smartest thing my country ever did. One thing I do think is going to be a tragic consequence of that is that they are going to make getting into my country very much more difficult for everybody.
But right now I don't have EU citizenship.
Right.
In all these countries, I will face
Turkey's not part of the EU, is it? Turkey, yeah. It is now. It's not. No, I didn't think so. But what I mean is, I think as a consequence of leaving the EU, although Turkey's not in it, I've got a horrible feeling that, and I hope I'm wrong, but I think that my government is going to go a bit racist and a bit like, you can only come into England if you've got money. I mean, they do that to some extent. I mean, don't get me wrong, they do it already. They've been doing it for years already. They racially profile on the British border, and it's racist, but they do it. We all know they do it. If you turn up, I don't know, as a German man in a suit, welcome to England. If you turn up, you know what I mean. It's racist, it's horrible, but they do it. But I think it's going to get worse. I think we might end up with certain countries have points systems for entry, so you have to get points to get the visa to enter, say, America or Australia, these sorts of countries. I think that England's going to start that sort of system where they're going to, and I think you'll be okay actually, because obviously by that point you'll have a degree, maybe several. You'll be more than qualified to pass what they need, I'm sure. But I think they're going to make my country in the next few years harder than it is already to get into, which I think is terrible and racist and inclusive, exclusive of, But that's the way it's going with my country at the moment. We're trying to sort of not be part of Brexit, not have immigration. It's a backwards mentality, but hey, I didn't vote for it. But I think being Turkish, if you've got education, you'd be all right. You'd be okay getting into England. I mean, when you're thinking about Germany or Holland or England, how many years are we talking? Like next year, a couple of years from now? What's your time frame?
Actually, I will be looking jobs in next year. I will graduate from the university this year at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Maybe in June or July, I will be graduated. And after that, I will be looking for jobs in these countries.
Great. Well, good luck. It's great. There's a huge in London. There's a huge Turkish population in North East London. There's like whole areas which are predominantly Turkish. So you'd always.
I don't know where they live in London, or I don't know. Also, I don't know London.
I suppose it depends what the job is, or it depends what offers you get, right? It could be anywhere. It could be Manchester or Scotland or something. Yeah. Do you have just changing topic? Do you have brothers and sisters?
I cannot hear.
So
I cannot.
changing the topic of conversation just to get you practicing something else. Do you have? Are you part of a big family? Do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I have a brother. I have a sister too.
And are they older or younger than you?
Yeah, older than me. My brother about 23. My sister 22.
And are they still in Turkey?
Not 20. Sorry, not 20. 32, 33.
Right, I was thinking they're not older than you, but I wasn't going to say. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I'm sure he said. Yeah, okay. But and are they still in Turkey? Do they? Or have they travelled abroad? Like you're thinking, or
all my family living in Adana City.
Right. Okay. And what do they do? What's their work? What do your brothers and sisters do for jobs?
My sister is a nurse, and my brother is working for government.
Okay, that's cool. How often do you have elections in Turkey? How many? Like in England, it's every 4 years. How often do you have like presidential elections in Turkey?
I'm not sure, but it was about 4 years.
It's about 4 or 5 years. Every 4 or 5 years, you get a chance to get rid of the guy you don't like. Yeah, so okay, but it's
not changing.
I mean, Turkey is very much a modern day democracy, isn't it? I mean, you have democratic systems. It's not. I mean, obviously you've got one of the oldest civilizations in the world, and you do have religion, etc. But in terms of your political systems, it's a modern 2020 democracy, or is that not the case? What would you describe?
Actually, it was democratic systems, but in the active status, we are. I cannot say we are a democratic country.
Right. I mean, to be honest, I can't say we are, because we say we are, but we've only got two parties, and neither of them really represent anybody. But we'd still call ourselves a democracy. It's not real democracy.
So interesting for me. There is a two-party in England.
Yes,
it's definitely too interesting from looking our country. We have 4 or 5 party in the government.
Yeah, in the government, so they share power.
There is 5 party.
We call that would be a proportional representation government. You see, in England, we have governments. We have three. Well, we have more than 2 political parties, but there's only ever one of 2 who are going to win. Conservatives, that's Boris Johnson, and they're the blue team. The red team, Labour, that's who are not in power at the moment. But historically, they've probably had about 50% power. Occasionally, like once every 50 years, a third party gets a little go at it, maybe. They are the Liberals, and their colour is yellow. And then, of course, we have the Greens and the Crazy People Party and lots of other parties, but they've never got a chance of being elected. So there's only really 2 choices, 2 parties in my country that will ever be elected. That's the Conservatives, the blue team, that's Boris Johnson, they're winning at the moment, and the red team. And the Conservatives tend to be more right-wing, more capitalist, more for less taxes, more individual responsibility. The Labour government tend to be more government should help, so medication, free education, free medication. The state should intervene more in your life. You should pay higher taxes. You can imagine, that one's more socialist, one's more right-wing, but they, in British history, have probably shared power about the same as each other. And as I said, every blue moon, a third party called the Liberals has a bit of a go. But actually, they are so small a party now, I don't know if they'll ever get a go again. I don't think they'll ever manage to be big enough, to win enough votes to ever actually become, the party of power again in my country. But we call ourselves a democracy, but I'm always sort of like, well, if you've only got 2 choices really, and neither of them really represent most people, it's not a democracy, is it? But yeah, what you've got in Turkey, we would call a sort of proportional representation government, i.e. a government that is made up of more than one political party. At the moment, for example, in my country, the Conservatives, they won the election. They're the party in power. They share power with nobody else. They are the government for now until the next election. Whereas but in Turkey, you guys have got, I don't know, I don't know, a few people from one party, a few people from another in your government, we call that proportional representation.
I think it's not a representation of about a democratic way.
No.
Just a few people ruining the everything.
Yes. No, I agree. I mean, unfortunately, I don't have much faith in political systems, if I'm honest.
It's a decision of a few people's how we live, and that's it. It's not democracy.
No, I agree. I mean, one of the things that you're studying computer engineering and whatever. Like, we now live in 2020, and obviously the technology is good enough that I can be sitting in Mexico having a live, instant conversation with a guy in Turkey, right? It's amazing. I mean, like, when I was your age, if I'd wanted to contact you in Turkey from Mexico, I'd have sent a postcard. It would have taken about 4 months to reach you. You know what I mean? By which point,
yeah, definitely.
So it will be the technology.
About one month, maybe.
Or I'd have been ringing you on an international phone call, costing me probably $10 a minute, right? For real, right? And so we've got this amazing technology, and it gives us all choice. And I can't help wonder, when are they going to, like, for me, democracy would be using computer technology to ask the general public major questions let's say once a month. It could be every day, it could be once a year, but you could, in real time, ask the general public to vote on major issues, right? And everybody got one vote, and you could do it on the computer instantly. So, I don't know, does Turkey want to go to war with England? Vote yes or no, right? And people would be like...
Actually, yesterday, I was talking about this situation with my friends. It looks interesting when you say me the same thing to me.
Yeah.
I just told yesterday the same thing. It's a good idea for me.
But the thing is, they'll never let it happen because, of course, that actually gives people the power, and they won't let that happen. Democracy in its purest form, the Greek definition of it would have been, for the people, by the people, but of course, there's no system in the world that's actually democratic, but if you use the technology that we have, I mean, I don't think you could let the public vote on every single issue. That would just be too much. But on major, matters of importance for Turkey and the world, everybody in Turkey could vote on something, or likewise in my country, I think, of course, then it would be an interesting one. Who gets to set the questions and what you're going to vote about? That would be the new problem, I guess. So who actually, you've got, they give you a choice in Turkey, but who's writing the question? Like, should Turkey have a national, everybody gets a free cake day from the government, right? Everybody's going to say yes to free cake, right? And whoever wrote that question has got quite a lot of responsibility because they've just given free cakes away to everybody in Turkey, right? But equally, if it's, do you think that your neighbours should be punished because they are different from you? Ooh,
that will be much.
The thing is, even if everybody had the instant access to vote on issues, it's then, of course, the government creating the questions that you're voting on. And that in itself wouldn't be democratic, would it? Because nobody can vote on what questions are going to be asked. But the actual mechanism of using computers to let people mass vote on things, we should be there by now, surely. I mean, on serious issues, that matter to people. But anyway, my friend, I think we're about to run out of time. I think we've got a minute left. It's been a pleasure to meet you today. If you ever want to just hang out, chat to me about anything else, practice your English, just give me a call. I'm on Cambly pretty much 8 hours a day from about now for a further 8 hours. So I'm here today pretty much every day except for Thursday. So it's been a pleasure. Salam alaikum. And all the best in your studies, and wherever you end up, Germany, Holland or England, enjoy it. I wish I was your age with the world in front of me like it is and a degree like you've got, so it's all good. Anyway, God bless. Give us a call if you ever want to chat again, mate. And lovely to meet you.
I hope I can see you again. Do you have any comments for my conversation?
Yeah, it's very good. Most people, to be honest, ask me to slow down because I talk too quickly. And, you know, in the second language, I do.
I think you go too fast, but it's okay
But
for me.
That's what I was going to say. Your English is great because you obviously followed it. So if you can follow me again.